So I want to talk about foods, some real shocking horror foods that you'll get for less than £1, which is less than $1.50 if you're watching this from the United States. So what I did is went to the local supermarket and I just looked around, picked up the cheapest, some of the worst foods you could get for that low value cost. Then when I say worst, what I'm ultimately coming down to is calorie content, how much energy is in this food, and then also what effect will have on your hunger levels. If it's not going to fill you up yet you've eaten a lot of food, well, that's a real trouble, because then you're going to be eating a lot of calories and you're still going to be hungry, and this is exactly what we see day in, day out. When it comes to the worst foods, though, what I always say to clients is that the very worst food is the trigger food, that if you have one, you're going to invariably have more after that. And you'll see with some of these foods here, it's very unlikely you're going to have one, and then you'll just see the calories mount and mount up. So in no specific order, these are some of the things that I picked up today. What I picked up here literally for a whole pound was a whole packet of McVitie's digestives, and though these are on special offer today, there's always a set of biscuits that are on special offer, and these are pretty high calorie. Now each biscuit, look at that, not much to it, is 80 calories. In this whole pack there's 1600 calories, so for most people that's going to be their whole day's intake. But are you really going to, if you're just eating McVitie's, would you eat just one packet in a day? Likewise, if you're going to have a snack, do you have just one? Most people never have one. Most people can have at least two, at least three. Then you might find yourself snacking all day. And it's not unheard of to be able to get through a big chunk of this packet just through snacking. And you think, that's not too bad. It's pretty light, nothing much to it. Well, the reality, if you've eaten half a packet over a day, that's 800 calories of food. And when you compare it to what 800 calories looks in, say, real food with vegetables, whatever, potato, whatever it might be, it's a lot of food in comparison. So they were literally £1 for all of them. Pretty shocking food to have. Always you can get on good cheap value with different sorts of chocolates. This one was a pack of Twirl, again on value today for £1. There's 700 calories in this. Though it varies each day at supermarkets, there'll always be some sort of chocolate. I saw in another supermarket, didn't buy it today, was 100 grams of chocolate for 35p. That's 500 calories for 35p. Buy 3 of those for £1. That's 1,500. You're back to what we're talking about chocolate-wise. And again, you might say, well, I'm not going to eat that much food. Well, some people, especially if they have a trigger food, they will literally get through that whole bar without too much drama. So chocolate's another shocking food you can get for cheap for not much money at all. What else we got here? An interesting one we got here is shortbread. So shortbread even more, and this packet was 93p, so less than £1. Shortbread even more calorie dense than the biscuit you saw earlier. One of these is over 100 calories. Now, again, are you going to eat one of these? If you are going to eat just one, well then it's pretty okay. It's going to come down to the moderation. You'll be able to fit it in the diet. If it gives you enough taste, it's okay. But my experience, most people's experience is you're never going to just eat one of those, because look at the size to it. There's almost nothing to it. This is high density calorie food, not very good for the average person to be snacking upon. Also in the list, what else we got here? So another one, people don't really look so much into things like oat bars. This you can get in the London Underground for £1. I got this pack here of cereal bars, Nutrigrain. Again, for £1 for all 6 of these, 6 or 9, 6 of these. So they're pretty light, 180 calories in this. Again, you're not going to eat one of those in general. It's not going to fill you up. It's just not enough content in it to fill it up. Yet it has got enough calories to give you energy, to mess up your energy equilibrium for the day, because you eat a couple of those, that's 250 calories. You have another snack here, you have a couple of biscuits, well that's now up to 600. That's 600 in snacks. You add in your other meals, and then you wonder why you can't get the results that you're sort of looking for. Then the final thing we got here, get the hand out of the way. Again, this for £1.20, but that's because the ones that were on for £1 were sold out. This is macaroons. Again, high density foods, 180 calories per one. That's over 900 for the pack. Again, do you eat just one? Most people, from people I've met who I know they eat them, they don't have just one. They'll open the pack, you'll have one at 10, you might snack one after lunch, you might have another one in the afternoon. Before you know it, that's 500 calories, just shy of, or just over even, added to the day without ever feeling like a meal. You could literally sew in a whole nother meal, which would totally fill you up, rather compared to one of those snacks. So they're all cheap foods for under £1. Take a look at them. McVitie's £1, 1600 calories, 80 calories per biscuit. This was less than £1. We're talking in the whole pack there, 1,300 calories. Again, 100 per biscuit. These foods aren't going to fill you up. What about chocolate? It can fill you up because there's more fat in it, but if it's a trigger food, you can be eating plenty more of these. Then the cereal bars, obviously a lot of people think these are healthy, but again, there's different debates on that, but ultimately, Like the one for the tube, that for £1, there's 550 calories. That's a huge chunk of your day's eating coming in what effectively looks like a snack form. And then finally these sort of, and there's lots of different, what's this, a cookie? There's other little cakes you can get for £1, similar sort of values. Chocolate shortbread, you get them as snacks. They're even more calorific than chocolate itself, than the shortbread I showed you earlier on. The point is, there's a lot of foods that are cheap, they don't fill you up, and they look like they're not doing any harm, but when you look at the energy balance, the energy equilibrium, they're destroying your chances of getting results. As you know, you follow my videos, followed me for a while, I'm not really into the old 100% perfection with your diet. I don't think it works. I don't think it's necessary. You can get results eating any food, but it's definitely about the thresholds. And where people get in trouble is when they're eating those sort of foods, thinking there's no damage to them, thinking they're light, thinking they're a snack, thinking they fill me up. When they actually don't fill you up, they've actually nailed you loads of energy. That's where it gets really dangerous. So it's not that you can't have any of those, but just think if you're having them day in, day out, it's really going to ruin your result. It's not going to be the threshold for most people to be able to get results. So some things to think about there as far as your snacks go. Take a look at the calories of them, but then compare them to what you could eat. You could eat 1-2 bananas for every one of those biscuits almost. Banana per biscuit is equal. But are you really going to eat 5 biscuits? Yes. Are you going to eat 5 bananas? Pretty much unlikely. Put in apples are even less. Put in an apple and a half to meet one of these. Are you going to eat 7 apples for every 4 biscuits? It's unlikely that's going to happen. So when you start substituting foods, healthier, lesser dense calorie foods for those, you'll find your diet's a lot easier to get into place. And then obviously when you still have them as the treat, as the rarity, you'll find you're able to get results at the threshold and still have that freedom in the diet. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. Remember to subscribe below. Any questions, email me, contact me however, and I'll see if I can help you out. Alright, cheers.